Good evening and welcome to the Bhoycie Bus Tuesday transfer ticket. My name is David Logue. It's just gone 9 o'clock and I'm with my co-host, Phil McGinley. How you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Happy to be on tonight. It's transfer special because in case you haven't noticed, Celtic board, in case you're watching, there's only a matter of days to go. So we're on to talk about all the rumours that are doing the rounds, because there's a fair few on the old social media sphere this evening. We shall see if there's any substance in them in the next few days. But hey, that's all we can really work off of just now. Just this rumour and speculation. So I'm quite happy to come on and talk about it. So happy to be on, mate.
Yes, the rumours, the transfer gossip, the hearsay. We're going to talk about it all tonight. Your dynamic duo, your Hardy Boys, your Grandmaster, Sexy, and
Look at you with the
Scotty Too
wrestling puns
Hotty.
already.
Getting them in now. We'll get them in while Mark's not here, because as you can notice, once again, the judge is avoiding me. Hashtag the judge fears Logue. Get it trending on Twitter. Calling you out, Judge. It's convenient. You always seem to appear when I'm not available. Judgment Day is around the corner. Well, sure, I'll catch up with you soon enough. Yeah,
indeed.
But before we get into all the transfer gossip, let's quickly get through all that good stuff. So if you like what we do, give us a like, give us a share, slag Bhoycie's hair. Slag Bhoycie's hair. He likes it. I don't like it when people slag my hair. I get a bit upset about it. But that's fine.
Oh, well, you're a barber.
Fine.
I mean, that would upset you.
Listen, do you know a quick trick before we can... The quick trick, if you ever go into a barber, if you go into a new barber shop, pick the barber with the worst haircut, because at least you know he didn't do it.
Oh, right, okay. Useful tip. Thank you very much.
There's your tip of the day. Right. Make sure you become a Bhoycie Bus member. You can do that by signing up on YouTube. It's $1.99 a month. All our content is free, by the way. That just helps support the bus and keep the wheels turning. And of course, piesports.com. Get your tasty pastry treats for 12.5% off with the code BUS1888. Right, Phil?
Yes.
I think that's all. I think that's everything out of the way. Yeah. Let's just get talking about these transfer rumours, because there's plenty of them, and who better to start off with than the man himself?
Oh,
Matthias Kvistgaarden. Kvistgaarden. That is how we're assuming is how you pronounce his name, just in case you need to know what he looks like. Here he is.
And he is.
Handsome man that he is, the young Dane of Kvistgaarden. Matthias, what a name, by the way. I like that name. Matthias.
His name came up a couple of weeks ago, but it's doing the rounds tonight. Interested to see how that one goes.
Yes, well, his name has caused quite a stir in our group chat today. You can guess who I've been arguing with. If it's not the judge, who do you reckon it's going to be? Of course, it's Regan. Regan always wants to get into a scuffle with me.
Yep.
Always likes to give me all you black eye, but I always like to question Regan, because it's always fun. He likes to give it just as
Regan's game for it. He is.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. He's actually, you know what he was doing? I asked him, because he said, "Oh, another prospect. Don't want him. No thanks." And all I asked him was, "Why is he a prospect?" And the first thing he said was, "Send me a StreamYard link. I'll speak to you about it online." he was right up for it. Was Regan, but I thought I'll keep that one till Sunday. But quickly about Kvistgaarden. I hope that's pronouncing that right, Phil. Okay, so
I would guess the key is silence. I would say Kvistgaarden is probably the correct pronunciation. Yeah, you're right. I would say so.
Yeah. So he is 21 years old. He is from Denmark. He currently plays for Brøndby. This season so far, he's made 6 appearances with 1 goal and 2 assists. I think the Brøndby are looking for around €6 million, pounds. I'm not sure exactly which currency that figure is in, but Celtic have apparently made 2 bids for him today. Both have been rejected. He can play as a centre forward, and he's also able to play on left wing and right wing. So he across the front three really. His stats, what we're saying, his goals were kind of coming from last season. Looking at it, was like a goal every third game. Well,
and we'll talk about him we talked about Sunday Blether a couple of weeks ago, but you said something for his under 21 Danish national side. It's something like 8 games, 4 goals. Did you say?
Yes, 8 games and 4 goals for the Danish under-21 side. Not bad. Under-21 leagues tend to be quite competitive. Looking at his stats from last season, 6 goals and 9 appearances in the championship, in the sort of cup games, so he did all right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. 124 professional appearances, well, from all his appearances, from the under-19 leagues and stuff. He's made 124 appearances, 49 goals, 19 assists. So here we go. So for Brøndby, he's made 66 appearances for the first team, 15 goals and 7 assists. Phil, what's your thoughts at 6 million now? Is he another project signing? I personally don't think so. At the price tag, I've been told that not to focus on that too much, but I don't think you can't not focus on a £6 million.
Yeah, it's a hell of an outlay for a prospect player. It's a weird one because his names came up today after originally surfacing a couple of weeks ago, and so far we've seen Celtic have bid, then we've heard that it's not happening, and then you say another one saying Celtic have bid twice for him, which would suggest that we are serious. So it's very, very mixed. People say in the chat, Anthony Joseph says the deal's off and so on. So it's back and forth right now, but I think it's going to be like this up until Friday night. It's going to be will he, won't he? The thing that I take most from it, though, is the fact it's a striker, because at the end of the day, it's no secret that we definitely need reinforcements in the forward department. So the very fact that we're even looking at a striker definitely is something that excites me, at least, because that is definitely a position we need to cover. Interestingly enough, though, in amongst these tweets that Anthony Joseph has put out about will he, won't he, deals on, deals off, rejected and whatnot, there was a line in there that did alarm me, where he said something along the lines of Celtic aren't treating the striker position as a priority, which did worry me. Because obviously there's a few strikers we're going to talk about tonight that have came up, getting linked. But yeah, in amongst one of his tweets, he did say something about this club are not treating the striker position as a priority. Does that spell out that it's going to be Dyson Maeda as the alternative striker choice once O's back? It'll just be between Kyogo, O, and Maeda. Do you reckon, David?
If we don't sign a striker, then yeah. And to be honest, I'm not overly that bothered about that, to be honest, because I think Maeda in this Brendan Rodgers system isn't going to work on the left, especially not going to work on the right if he's getting put out there to accommodate Yang or Palmer if he's coming in, who I forgot to put in this little thing tonight, but we can forget about that. I think Maeda, I mean, there was a reason why he started him through the middle in the pre-season games. Obviously, Kyogo, there was a concern about his shoulder, I think, but always fit at the time, and he didn't start him. So that makes me wonder if Maeda long term is going to be put more through the middle and be more of a second choice, third choice striker, and used on the left if need be. Even when Kyogo was getting taken off, he would be moving Maeda into the middle.
Yep.
So he obviously sees him more through as a striker, I think. Now, obviously, that wayward shot that he did on the weekend there didn't.
Yeah, cutting in from the right, funny enough, like you said there. Yeah, cutting in from the right on his left foot, and just that was.
I think he's going to be more of that through the middle. He's better through the middle, personally, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, Glasgow Rebel being the party pooper that you want to be. Anthony Joseph said that Kvistgaarden isn't happening.
Although, interestingly, David Kelly came down and the same line that Regan uses, because Regan claims that Anthony Joseph's a total fraud. He says if Anthony Joseph says it's off, then he must be at Celtic Park with a scarf above his head right now. The guy has no idea. Yeah, Regan often says that about Anthony Joseph, says, no, don't listen to him. But yeah, so far today, I think Anthony Joseph's covered both bases. He is signing, he isn't signing. So yeah, it's like he's just putting out there just that he's covering both. But yeah, the name has come up again after originally surfacing a week or so ago. And then went a wee bit quiet. But yeah, £6 million, to say if this was to happen, I can't imagine we'd be laying out that much money for a guy that would be deemed a project player. That's a guy that's going to come in and definitely go ahead of O in the pecking order for that price if it was to happen.
Oh, I'd like to think so. That's what I tried to ask Regan tonight. He still didn't answer my question, by the way. As I asked him, what was it that was making him see him as a project signing? Was it his age? Was it the league? Or was it the price tag? Which one was it? I'm still waiting on that answer, Regan, by the way. You can get me at Twitter or on my. You can
Maybe you'll
message
appear
me
in the
DM.
live chat and you'll tell us.
I know. I'm just trying to call him out. I'm trying to get him out of the woodwork to come and
Aye.
to answer my question, because I mean, it's a difficult one to kind of like. How do you argue this one? Because like, see when Man United are throwing £70 million at an even younger Danish striker who scored not even 10 goals in the Italian league and didn't even score 10 goals in the Austrian league the year before that, and they're throwing £70 million at a player.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that price tag just destroys it. Just, I mean, the English Premier League in general, they've warped the way you value players now, players' valuation. So it's so difficult. So is £6 million considered not very much, even in our world at Celtic? Or £6 million? That's not actually a lot of money. Well, it kind of is for us when we're spending. You know, our highest signings ever was £9 million.
Aye,
like, it's like,
£6 million is huge for us.
And £6 million is huge, like for us. Aye. So I can't just. So then it's got to be his age. But I'm like, what? 21? How many good players are out there that are 21 that are their first team?
Well, Wheeler Badder came to Celtic and was younger than that and came into the first team and had a very good first season.
22, is he not, Matt O'Reilly? 22, 23?
No, he's a young side as well, so you can't be too much into age as well. It's
so hard to figure out. Is it a prospect? I think it's just because I think there's such a negative outlook on everyone that we're looking at right now, because I feel like these guys should have been in weeks ago. See if the same signing was being made 6 weeks ago. Let's just 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. Same lad, same price tag. I think folk would be going, oh, all right, okay, we're cooking here. £6 million for a striker, second choice striker, class. But now it's a case of, well, windows shuts on Friday, guys. Oh, you're chucking £6 million at some Danish 21-year-old that we've never heard of. Panic buy. You know, it's just because of the time frame of where we're at. I think it's warping maybe our viewpoint, me included, by the way. Because to be honest, if I'm being perfectly honest, he doesn't really excite me. He doesn't really excite me. But a guy whose name that's been thrown out today that does excite me, and I've seen it's excited a few others, is this man here.
Yes.
If you didn't know who that is, his name is Sydney. Yes.
Sydney Van
Hooijdonk.
Is that your 40-10 moment again? Yeah.
Jesus,
like
I know,
week.
Mate. I'm gonna stop coming on this show. I make an arse of myself on this every fucking week, but it's fine. It's fine. Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney. He plays for Bologna in the Serie A. And right now he's not lighting up that league, if I'm being honest. However, his stats in Holland were pretty interesting. Put them in the. See if I can look.
For Hooijdonk, wasn't it he played for? It was
yes. Another player that's played for Celtic that used to play for them. Can you
Big Pierre Van Hooijdonk. Yes, my first sort of Celtic hero back in the mid-90s when I first took an interest in this great club, because he'd signed for us in the 94-95 season, and he scored the winning goal in the Scottish Cup final that season, our first trophy in years, and without a shadow of doubt was a phenomenal player, but it kind of soured a wee bit at the end for him. He got in a bit of a dispute with the chairman, Fergus McCann, over contracts, and made a bit of a crass comment about being, at this time, I think it was like $8,000 a week he was offered, which in 1997 was pretty big. And he said something like, oh, that would be good for a homeless person, but not for an international striker like me. And he was swiftly sold to Nottingham Forest, but his goal return at Celtic in those 2.5, 3 years, whatever, was pretty phenomenal. So, I mean, if his son could come to Celtic and replicate, I mean, the romance of it alone, is this another sort of, okay, Van Hooijdonk's not on the level of Jordan Larson, but remember a year ago, Jordan Larson was a free agent and we were pushing for it, and maybe we were a wee bit guilty of just the romance of it was pushing it, but
26 goals and 54 appearances in Holland, by the way, for that even.
And how many did Giakoumakis score when he played in Holland for a relegated team? How many? So it's like that shows that, if you've got a good record in that league, obviously he can 100% do a job for us. So yeah, I'm saying like the romance of it, I wonder if I've just been caught up in that. But it was again another tweet that came out from the already bashed tonight Anthony Joseph. So whether that's true or not, who knows? But he did put it in a follow-up tweet to the Kvistgaarden one saying that Sydney Van Hooijdonk is another one that's been on Celtic's radar this summer. Whether it happens, who knows? But yeah, the romance of it's definitely appealing.
I don't know if this is towards me or David Kelly, but listen, you've got me all wrong if that's what you think, by the way. Oh dear. There's too many Davids in this chat though, so I'm going to assume it wasn't towards me. Plunging at me. Mark Kearney said he doesn't excite me. His dad was good, but I'd not be excited by that. 22 goals in 5 years. Oh, right, okay. I didn't know. Suppose you got to look at those stats as well. Judge, right. So we'll move on for him quickly because there's not much really else to say on him. By the way, I think did Samaras not play for that?
Samaras did play for Hooijdonk before he moved to Man City, and then ended up with us, and the rest is history. Judges Samaras, but yeah, he did play for Hooijdonk.
Now there was another loan signing. I believe this one is.
Yes,
and I think it was David Kelly that put in the chat that the Portuguese lad excites him. Well, that Portuguese lad is Paulo Bernardo.
Yes,
he's a centre mid from Benfica. And if you want to know what he looks like, I did my homework. That's him here. And his little.
He'll need to change that squad number if he comes to Celtic. Can't be wearing that.
Yeah, can't be wearing that. No chance.
Nope.
Well, Paulo Bernardo. This one looking like perhaps a loan with an option to buy. Well, is that what they're saying about this guy?
Yeah, the last one I saw said that.
I'm trying to find his thing. I looked it up, but yeah, I don't know. I think he's more of a box-to-box midfielder from what I was looking at. Maybe it's somebody that can really help out Callum McGregor.
Something that we need is a box-to-box midfielder right now. Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's like I can understand why people are maybe unsure about a loan. It's just the loans, like there's Mark the Judge Kearney in there with his loans, his eye rolling. Yep. I mean, if it's a loan with an option to buy, I'm not so bothered about that. I mean, look what we got out of Jota and Cameron Carter-Vickers. They were loans with an option to buy, and if they're guff, we don't need to sign them. We don't need to sign them. And it's kind of like the try before you buy market, and I think
which has worked for us before.
It has worked for us before. And another Benfica graduate wouldn't be such a bad thing, I don't think. The last one worked out pretty well for us. What are people thinking about that? Has anyone managed to do their research on this lad yet in the chat? What's your thoughts on this guy? I'm not wanting to bomb through them too quickly because there's not that many to go through tonight, and we're already on our third. So let us know what you are thinking on him. Phil, I would be keen, if I'm being honest. I feel like we're maybe lacking in that sort of type of player.
Yep.
Whether it's something that Celtic are actually pushing to do, we will see. But yeah, I'm sure he's played for the Portuguese under-21 team as well. I'm trying to find them here, and I can't.
The thing is with the loan market, and I can understand why fans are always a wee bit sceptical of it. We have had quite a track record over the last 10 years or so in particular, probably since Ronnie Dyler's era, where we were relying heavily on loan players, particularly from Manchester City. But yeah, most of those ones always came with no option to buy. I'm more inclined to be interested if it's a case of we've got an option to buy at the end of it, because it's nothing worse than a great player comes on loan and you get the typical you fall in love with the player because he's amazing and it's all that we need to sign him full time and it just doesn't happen. Patrick Roberts, Jason Denayer, we tried to sign John Guidetti halfway through his loan spell and he wasn't interested in staying. Funny enough, these guys have all got something in common there, all the Man City ones. They don't seem to send us players on loan with an option to buy. They like to just bring them back and then send them out to another club within their network, essentially. But this one intrigues me because one of the things that always comes up, many Celtic fans argue it with, I know it seems rich to say it with the way our boards behave, but obviously many fans are like, why can we not start behaving like clubs like Ajax and Benfica? They always seem to get mentioned. Benfica have had a phenomenal record over the last few years of churning out some amazing players from their youth system and selling them for big money. And remember, it was just a year ago when many Benfica fans were quite angry that the club, that they allowed Jota to leave for such a small fee because he was seen as such a high prospect. If this boy, coming from the same sort of ilk as Jota, if he's a similar level and we can get it at a decent price in a year's time, then yeah, I would be all for it. I've got no problem with a loan and option to buy, but yeah, a loan just a flat out sort of, when we get somebody in, with no option really to buy, it's always a bit more, they're just going to go back to their club. We're just developing them for a year just to send them back. But this one would intrigue me more. I'd be definitely interested in pursuing those types of deals if it can be done when you know that, okay, we've got an option here. And then, as you say, if it doesn't work out, so be it. We don't need to buy him at the end of it, because we've had a few ones recently where there's like an obligation to buy. A few of the Japanese ones, they were on loan initially, and then it was an obligation. So it was like, we'll pay you in the summer for him and make him a player full time. Iwata and Maeda fell in that category. But no, I'd be up for that, Bernardo, if it was an option to buy. And, people have said in the chat so far, centre midfield, a box-to-box one, is definitely the type of thing that we need right now, because our midfield is lacking a bit of pace with Hatate being out injured. If I say a bit of pace, a lot of pace, it's lacking right now.
Well, he's 21 years old. He has played for the under-20 team, the under-20 national team. He has a box-to-box midfielder. He's right-footed, and his goals and assist stats don't look too bad at all for the position that he plays in. Is Liga Sabzeg? What's that? Is that their?
I don't know. That's like the
B
sponsor
team
name for it. I think I can't remember the exact name of their league, but he'll probably be playing in what
it's the second division. He was on loan in the second division.
Because Benfica's B team wouldn't be allowed to play the top flight with a main team.
Yeah. So he was playing in the second Portuguese division, and he scored 7 goals, 5 assists out of 30 appearances as a sort of central midfield player. Not too bad. I mean, he's an interesting one. And like I said, if it is a loan with an option to buy, try before you buy. I'd be happy with that. I don't see this obligation to buy. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what some people will argue with you, but it kind of worked out with the Maeda situation. The Iwata one is a weird one, because it's like, the last manager has signed off on an obligation to buy.
Yeah.
So we've had to buy him, whether he was good or not.
Yeah.
And he's fucked off. and then Brendan's came in, and probably it doesn't look like he's got much interest in using Iwata.
It seems
so
like
now he's kind of stuck in no man's land a little bit.
David, he's sitting there right now. We're talking about how Callum McGregor's overrun in midfield right now. Maybe Iwata's that guy could get thrown in there and maybe help him out and get us a bit more balance in the middle of the park. But it just
he's
seems
going to
like
be our new Sorrow, eh? He's going to be our new Sorrow. We're going to be saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. The league will be gone, and we're like, we'll just give Iwata a go. Let's see for next season. I can see it.
God almighty.
I'm joking,
please.
by the way. I'm
joking. Please.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
That's it. Brown Boy is saying, flood the midfield, stick Iwata in there, and push Mark in front of him. Let them try man mark a player who is renowned for finding space. Yeah, it's hard to argue with you, Brown Warrior. I do try. Nah, to be fair, I think me and Brown Warrior get on better than most.
Oh, aye, look at you. Oh, Brown Warrior, my pal.
Me and Brown on first name
terms. Oh, is that how it is? Aye.
Me and Brown go way back. Right, so another one. Now this is going to get Mark Kearney real excited. This guy here.
All right.
He's a free transfer. He is a free agent. And his name is Xeka, not Xhaka. Xeka.
Yeah.
I would attempt to try his full name, but it's an absolute mouthful. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to stick to Xeka. He is a current free agent. He has been. He was part of the Lille side that won the league in the old COVID
Oh, the year that we do not speak of, yes, that year. Yeah.
That year, right? I'll get him off the
Well,
schedule.
that would mean that we played Leo along the way that season because we played them in 2021 season in the Europa League and got a 2-2 draw out in Leo and beat them 3-2, although the last game was a bit of a dead rubber. We were out by that point. We had nothing really went right for us that season, but yeah, we did get a win in the last group game against them, so probably a good chance that we encountered Xeka. But yeah, he's a free transfer these days. Have been released.
Yeah, he's 28 years old, Portuguese. He's had one cap for the. Is that the one? He's only had one cap for the Portuguese under-20 side. I don't think he ever made it into the national team. Which that's a difficult league. It's a difficult team to get into, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. But he can play as a defensive midfielder, on the left, or as just a more a bit further forward in that sort of more attacking role as well. His like I said, he's won the league in France and he won the cup competition, the French Super Cup winner with Lille as well, I believe. He also played for Rennes, and his highest transfer was from Lille to Rennes for €9 million. He used to play for Braga.
And team we've encountered in the past,
yeah. So a free transfer. Now, I know it's a bit, well, we've got money in the bank. Why are we not spending? Why are we looking at a free transfer? Well, if a decent player is available on a free transfer, many people, Phil, you've said it to me already tonight.
Yeah, Aaron Moy a year ago was a free agent, and it was hailed as a really great signing. I say Aaron Moy took a while to get up to speed, but yeah, for a couple of months anyway, last season he was a crucial player for us, but then another injury set him back. But yeah, most people at the time were all in on the Aaron Moy signing, although Bhoycie was very vocal, shall we say, on here and on Twitter, and he got absolutely lambasted for it. He came out and said it's an underwhelming signing, but free agent, so he's played in Europe at a very high standard, much higher standard than we have. He's won the French league with Lille, albeit it was an anomaly season for many countries where we actually look at the winners across the board in Europe. Lille were a bit of an odd one when you look at the major leagues, but still got that winners medal at the end of the day. So, yeah, and the thing is with these boys is if they're free agents, they obviously be signed after the transfer window, but when it comes to registering for the European squad, then unfortunately they're not going to get registered in time. My biggest concern about that market though at this stage is they haven't been playing any football over the summer. How long is it going to take? That's probably one of the reasons why Aaron Moy was such a slow starter last season. So he got up to speed after the World Cup. He was phenomenal from like January through to March, but then an injury set him back again, and Xeka could fall into that category where he's not played a lot of football. By the time we get to see him in the team on a sort of regular, if he signed, it'd probably be like October, November time. So there's a risk with that one. So unless he's been training with like another team over summer, because sometimes you see players do that. They might train with like one of the former teams or something just to get their fitness up. But the training and actual match fitness are a world of difference. So that would be a bit of concern there. If all else fails, though, and you're looking at those free agents list. I mean, Eden Hazard is still floating about as a free agent. So,
I hear he's
get on the phone to Eden Hazard. God, his career's nosedived. I can't believe that what's happened to him. But yeah, he's sitting as a free agent right now. Incredible.
Well, Eden Hazard's like you say, his career's. I mean, I don't think he'd really take care of himself that well. I think that was his biggest issue in Madrid. Is he packed on the weight? He was injury prone. I think that was his biggest issue. Maybe partied a little bit too much in Madrid as well, from what I'd read. I mean, looking at that, the unemployable list as cool. Who's his name? Cool. Is it Cool Daddy? Cool Daddy. What a brilliant. Cool Daddy. We want to compete in Europe, but looking at free agents, i.e., the unemployable. Some of the unemployables: David De Gea. Eden Hazard, Sergio Ramos.
Oh, we'll take him. Sergio, come on.
David De Gea and goals and
there's a reason why David De Gea is still sitting unemployed. He's got very high wage demands because let's remember he was on like something stupid like 300,000 a week. He'll be bound for Saudi Arabia, so probably Ramos as well. But guys like Xeka, say his names came up. See, my biggest concern is
28-year-old Portuguese midfielder. I mean, come on, it's like forget the fact
ability-wise,
that his contract
I don't
ran
doubt
out.
it. I just worry about the fitness. That would be my worry right now, because it's trying to get him up to speed. He's no good to us if he can't, come in right away. And we definitely need somebody to come in right away and make some impact right now. So that is the worry. So I would see a bit of an Aaron Moy trajectory there, where it's going to take a wee while to get him.
Expensive, Gildaddy, because they command a huge wage, but we're not going to be signing David De Gea or Eden Hazard or Sergio Ramos. But the Saudis will.
They will. Yeah, they will.
Afford it. They can afford it. Listen, I'm actually quite surprised that Sergio Ramos hasn't managed to find another team. But he's 37 years old, and I don't think he had the best time in Paris. But we're not a PSG supporters podcast, so we shall swiftly move on from Sergio Ramos. Right. Where is this one now? This one caused a bit of a stir in our group chat again. Ronnie Edwards, the Peterborough centre half. Is he the long-term or is he the short-term answer, or is it not even a question to be answering at all? Phil, do you know much about Ronnie Edwards?
Not a massive expert on him. Obviously, people that I've seen comment on it online, naturally, it's like, oh, Peterborough, what are we shopping there for? And it's like, well, we very nearly signed Ivan Toney a couple of years ago. Well, he was a Peterborough player, playing in League One, and we definitely regretted that. So again, it's when it comes to the level, I'm just like, look, I don't read too much into it. If the scouts deem that they're good enough to do a job, then by all means, I'll judge them when I see them in a Celtic shirt. That's always been my mentality when it comes to a transfer, regardless of fee, age, what league they've come from. Once I actually see them, because there's been too many examples over the last 15 years or so where we've signed players that nobody's really heard of or paid much attention to, and they actually turn out to be the ones that take us to the next level. Like I said, the show recently, like that night that we beat Barcelona, the famous night, it was Victor Wanyama that scored the first goal, who we signed from a mid-table team in Belgium for less than £1 million. So I don't read too much into the level he's playing at. And I say Ivan Toney was playing for Peterborough a couple of years ago, and that one still haunts us to this day. Although looking at what's happened to his career and that whole betting palaver, then maybe we avoid a bullet on that one. But in terms of ability, he's a phenomenal striker. We definitely need a centre back. People have said already tonight that centre back should be the priority for a shadow of doubt, because Celtic, just with the freakish luck they've got, David, we've got 4 centre backs on our book and 3 of them are all injured at the same time. Only the strangest could happen to us. Carter Vickers, obviously, Welsh even signs a new deal and he gets injured right away, so we even got that as an option. And we're having to play Liam Scales, who, I thought at the weekend he was just serviceable. Yes, very, very smart there. Yes, indeed. But yeah, ultimately, you don't want to be going into Champions League games, and especially on Sunday with Liam Scales centre back. For a team, a lower down team, he's okay to slot in there, but ultimately he's not the answer. So Ronnie Edwards, again, we'll
League
just
One.
wait to know.
League One, yeah. That's where Peterborough are playing in right now. Is that not where we signed Matt O'Reilly from?
Yeah, MK Dons were in the third tier of English football. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think it's a league that we don't really pay much attention to as fans. But I think there's a fair good decent players in that league, by the way. It's a competitive league. You said if you're plucking people out like Matt O'Reilly, who hit the ground running when he came, I don't think we should be too quick to judge on the league that they play in. Peterborough, I mean, like you said, Ivan Toney came for that league, and then he just absolutely walked the Championship and he's walked the Premiership. Now these guys,
Brown Warrior. I was thinking this one. Gary Hooper, he's saying, was playing.
That's right. Was he not Scunthorpe? But they're not in the chat. Were they not the Championship?
The season that we signed him, they'd been in the Championship because he was second top goal scorer behind Andy Carroll. But Scunthorpe, I think, were in the league below the season before, got promoted. But yeah, when we signed, I'm pretty sure he was second behind Andy Carroll that season in the Championship, because Newcastle had been relegated in 2009 down to the second tier. But yeah, there are players there, but have the scouts done their due diligence? Because this guy's name's only came up now. It's basically because we are panicking for centre-backs. If maybe, his name had popped up a few times earlier in the window, They're like, oh, maybe there is something in this, but his name's only came up now when we really need a centre back. So how much have we really looked into this one? Again, I've just got to give him the benefit of the doubt. If he does come in, so he's going to be coming into a real powder keg atmosphere if he's got to start on Sunday. If that's the case for most people, if they do sign before Friday, there's a good chance that they're going to be thrown right in there at the deep end, a sink or swim scenario. But yeah, the name, say, Roy, have you looked up before we came on as well that he won the under
19s European Championships. He was in the final. I've actually got an article up about the starlets of the under 19s championship team that won it. Ronnie Edwards, another player that outside of the top flight that featured in their champions winning squad. He was regular for Peterborough United in the championship that season. They did get relegated, Peterborough, playing 34 games at centre-back. Although Peterborough were relegated, Edward had positives that have brought reported interest from Premier League sides of Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. So he's been on their radar. And I think Crystal Palace is still a team that's been mentioned to be still scouting him. He said we need another centre-half. He's won a trophy with the England under-19 side. That was, good players in that team. By the way, see if you look back at that squad, they had some cracking players that are
I think I'd also seen today, David, that the Peterborough chairman, who's got a presence on social media, Darren McAnthony, he said something today in reply to a Peterborough fan that alluded to that they're expecting Ronnie Edwards to leave on a permanent transfer. He was asked about bringing in a replacement. So he seemed to sort of give a cryptic clue that, they're expecting him to leave on a permanent transfer, but obviously didn't name any names. But you're obviously saying there's a few other teams floating around that might be interested in him as well. So as it is, we would have to just wait and see. But again, with his name floating about, it gives me that wee bit of encouragement that at least the club are identifying, although when I say they're identifying it, it's kind of slapping them across the face. It's more like blunt force trauma rather than being subtle. It's like, yeah, we definitely need centre-backs, guys. You don't need to be a rocket science effort to figure that one out. It's quite obvious, and they definitely need to be in the market for that, because right now we are in a bit of a crisis for that, heading into a huge fixture on Sunday. But yeah, as long as they are looking at something and we do sign some sort of defensive player before Friday, then that's a step in the right direction. But yeah, his name is obviously the one that's doing the rounds right now.
David Kelly's saying that they knocked back $7.5 million for him. I'm assuming that was from Crystal Palace. David, you can let me know. It probably is maybe just a bit of paper talk, transfer talk, but I mean that's what this show is about tonight, David. So we're just going with what's been put out today in the last couple of days. We're trying to fill some content for your Tuesday ticket enjoyment. So please bear with us. We might just mention a couple of random names that aren't linked just for some fun, and then you can tell us that we're not linked to them as well.
Yeah, we'll see on Friday night what comes out, because we'll be on Friday night for the.
Yes, now I'm telling you, Phil. We're going till midnight, mate. We're doing it.
Oh God!
So you better get your Red Bull, your Prime, all other energy drinks are available.
Yes. We'll gauge the mood that night, because we'll be able to tell while we're on air if things are going how they're going to go. If it's going to be a last minute scramble, if there's signs that there's going to be some activity. But we'll be able to tell while we're live on the air. But we'll definitely on at 9 anyway, for at least an hour anyway, and then we'll just test it for there and see how we go. But a 3-hour show on Friday night. Nobody said
3-hour show. Listen, we'll just come on that last
hour. Right. 11 to 12.
We'll have our yellow ties on.
Oh yeah, channel the old yellow tie. Yes, definitely to get in the old spirit of Sky Sports News on deadline day.
Listen, why don't we get Connor to go and stand outside Celtic Park and just scream, "Where are the sign-ins?
We could get him on like FaceTime or something, crossing over our correspondent outside the stadium. We head over to Connor Carr just now.
head over the corner car outside Paradise as he is ready to throw some sharks
Oh,
at the
Scott
board.
Howe, now it's out there in the universe. He wants a 3-hour show. Oh, God.
Hey, listen, if the people want it, mate, we have it, we'll do it for them.
Jeez.
We're at their mercy, mate.
A few people have been asking about left backs, and there's a name that's came up. Merlin. That was obviously the player from Nantes FC, and it seemed to have gone quiet at the moment. At the moment, it's one of these ones that's came up and then it's went into hiding again. So again, we don't know. I mean, I've said it before on the show. We've complimented the club at times as well in recent years at how well they do keep some stuff behind closed doors. You don't find out about it till the 11th hour. I say the Kyogo signing, people actually woke up that morning because of the time difference, checking social media, and it's like Celtic have just signed this player from Japan for like 4 million. And it's like, I didn't even know that was even happening. He didn't get a sniff of it. So who knows? Who knows at this point? They could be working on something. Again, left back, I say people have been saying in the chat all night about it. As far as we know, there's no concrete names put out there tonight in any sort of social media saying about a left back, but it is obviously a position that we need to be addressing big time because, the deficiencies are there to see. They really are. Greg Taylor, this role that Brendan's wanting to play rather than being inverted, wanting to be more old school fullback, getting forward in the wing, it's no really happening. And then Bernardo's the backup.
I'll be shocked.
Not because before Ange happened.
Before.
Greg Taylor couldn't do that under Lennon beforehand, and he was trying to get me play away because we just lost Kieran Tierney. He's trying to replicate Tierney, and he just can't. But I mean, most people can't replicate him because it's Kieran Tierney.
Are you quite surprised that Brendan's just went straight back to that kind of style when he doesn't have the players for it? Because he did attempt inverted fullbacks at Leicester, and he did quickly change it back. I think that was due to an injury to his fullback, so he wasn't able to play that way. He wasn't able to play that way because he didn't have the players to do it. And then he's come back to Celtic and has the players to do it. Even Ralston managed to shine in that inverted fullback role. And he's chose not to do it because remember he did say like I'm not gonna tinker with it too much just now, blah blah blah. And it looks like he's completely ripped up the Ange rule book through the window and said, right, we're doing it my way, which is fine. That's his gift to do so. He's now the manager, but I just feel like if you don't have the players to work your system just now, then maybe just stick to the strengths that we have. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a football coach, as you can tell. So maybe I'm talking nonsense. And don't put in that chat as usual because I can use a go in because he's there all the time.
Now that you've put it out there and said that, yes, they will.
You're talking shite as usual. Where's the judge?
He's in the chat. I think Mark was volunteering to go down to Celtic Park on Friday and probably shout abuse at the board, I would guess.
He's
throw a railing at them, like
he's going to Celtic Park. 2020. He's going to Celtic Park on Friday because he kens I'll no be there because he's avoiding me.
Oh yes, he's hiding, mate.
He's hiding. Where are you, Judge? He's hiding.
No, he's definitely there. I definitely saw him earlier on. But no, in terms of like this system that Brendan came in, you're right. He did say he didn't plan on tweaking it too much. Evidently, it looks like he has tweaked it quite a bit because there's a vast drop-off right now. I think it was a question that came up on Judgment Day last week, and it was like, is Brendan's job as a manager, shouldn't he be, finding a system to suit the players that are there? So you would think that he would look at that and go, well, that worked last season. What's one of the things we keep on going on about? Where Callum McGregor is overloaded in the middle of the park. He is obviously struggling. And what helped him out last season? Those inverted fullbacks coming in and helping him. And it's like, there is the just go back to that. Go back to what was working before, particularly because it's absolutely exposing one of our best players right now who cannot get up to speed, Callum McGregor, without a shadow of doubt. Because, McGregor hasn't had a huge drop-off in terms of his actual ability. He's just playing in a system right now that just ain't working for him. But the tools are literally there to get it done. And for whatever reason, whether it's stubbornness, I don't know. But he's just decided that he's going to stick it out with, he wants his fullbacks to get the win. Don't get me wrong, I think Alistair Johnson can do that. I think he showed that enough times last season, delivers a good ball into the box and can get forward. He's got the pace and the strength to get by people. But Taylor definitely struggles there. And as for Bernardo, again, it's just such a wild card, Bernardo. I just don't know what to make of him at times.
He's
you saw in pre-season, like he scored a really good goal against Athletic Bilbao, but then in the contrast. That was a goal against Gamba Osaka, where he passed it to the invisible man, chased it down, and somehow intercepted it and then put it in the net. And it's like
himself. He gets an assist and a goal in one movement. It's mental. What
Amazing.
a guy! It's incredible. Here's a great point by Mark Brown, right? And I was just thinking about it there. So he said, keeps hearing the striker isn't the biggest priority. Will the Asian Cup not wipe out our attacking options after Christmas? By the way, aye, they probably will, right? And remember, there is a rule that if so many of our players are away on international duty out there, we can ask to postpone a game, right? But how many of the players are actually going to get called up and be playing in the... I don't think we'll get... Like, Kyogo will be away. I'd imagine he's going to get called up.
Yep.
Or get taken for South Korea, probably.
Yep.
Maeda,
I think Yang has
Maeda
more of a chance.
definitely
Kwon doesn't really have a chance, but Yang might have a chance.
Yeah, but that's only what's that for? That's all four of our attacking Japanese players.
Tilio will go. Australia
Tilio as well. So how many is that? 5. So what's the rule? How many are you allowed to before you go? Can we postpone it?
I think this has came up a couple of times, and somebody said in the chat that the fixtures we would miss, it would only be 2 games. I think it's not a full month because we've got the January shutdown in Scotland where the league shuts down for 3 weeks. But that being said, even at that, you could have just looked at the weekend there and went, like, it was only St Johnstone and we struggled against them. So I would rather we had the full quota available. If it means games do go on the back burner, then there's a few people coming in saying, in fact, with good contrast, Thomas Burns says 3, Stephen Donoghue says 5, Alistair Jack says 6. So we've got a few contrasting answers there, but there is definitely a rule about we can ask for a postponement of a game in the event that too many players aren't available. But yeah, I think as well coming out of the Christmas period where fixtures are rammed as well. It's probably best that we have as much of a quota available because as we saw at the weekend there, you can't just look at the fixture and go, it's only St Mirren, they'll miss anyway. We'll beat them. You don't know. Strange things are going on right now. So let's. I think we might need to utilise that rule, but it is a fair point that we need to be acutely aware of that come the Asian Cup time, which is I think at the turn of the year. So yeah, that is a concern.
Right. Well, we've not spoken about him yet, and I think we should. I think we should speak about something that gets people excited because Plunge McNugget thinks that I don't get excited at certain naked things in my bedroom.
Yeah,
get excited if you turn up in my bedroom naked, Plunge. I definitely wouldn't get too excited about that. But Podence,
this show's taking a weird turn, I've got to say.
Well, it's past the watershed. We can say what we like. Podence is incoming apparently. Yeah, I read that too. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but I read that too. I think that's a done deal, if I'm honest. I think that's a done deal. I think that'll be like one of the ones. I think he'll be the new number 10. He wears the number 10 at Wolves just now. He's apparently out the door. I think Celtic must have heard me suggesting that we should maybe give him a hitch. We could have maybe brought him off the bench and they went, okay, I forgot about him. Let's fucking get him out the door. Somebody mentioned him on a podcast on Sunday. Get him out the door. So it looks like he's heading out. Celtic just remembered he's at the club, so it looks like he's heading. He gives up that number 10 shirt. Podence gets it. Podence number 10. Boom. There's your Ibrox debut.
Oh God! Thrown right in there at the deep end. It's the situation with him doesn't seem to be changing. The only noise that's coming out of Wolves from their manager is we're monitoring his situation and he's still training with our under 21s, but he's definitely for the off. It seems like Wolves are just like, nah, he can essentially go. We'll see if it is us. Obviously, many fans are wanting it to happen. So when I've watched them, because we were linked to him before, so naturally every time I would see Wolves playing on Sky, I would always keep an eye out for him. And then the time he was getting a game, because obviously he's fell out of favour there, which is quite incredible because they are terrible at the moment, Wolves. I've always thought he does look pretty sharp, and it's one of those things where it's, man, what could have been? I think he would be an exciting signing for us. But again, it's the whole one thing that does bother me, and again, it's lack of game time. So he's just been training with our under 21s. So imagine that, lack of game time, signs on Friday night, throwing in on Sunday, just throwing in there. But it's definitely a signing that I would be happy to see. And yeah, I've seen a few tweets doing the rounds today. People that have heard this and heard that, and what Punch McNugget says, it's a done deal or he is coming to the club. So we just need to wait and see on that one. But yeah, that is a signing that would get me quite excited. To be fair, it's like yeah, I'd be on board with that one.
There's a question's been asked where the stories of that are coming from. If you go back to the Sunday Blether that was on Sunday, I read a report on that. I can't remember which site I got it from. It might even Give Me Sport or something. An Italian journalist was really pushing that looks like it could be. Like Celtic are certainly still in talks with Wolves. Okay. I think the talks probably started in Dublin. I think they would, that's where it started.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, stop ruining the fun. Judge, cool daddy. I could bring him. He's not happening. Right, okay, we'll move on then. Well, let's talk about something that will happen.
Well, put it this way, David, we've came out tonight just talk about the rumours that are doing the rounds, because that's all there is. Because if we didn't talk about that, we would literally just be sitting here in silence, just staring into the abyss. So we have to come on and talk about something, and that is basically the stories that are doing the rounds tonight. So yeah, we just need to put through those and see what happens with them.
Yeah. Another name that is happening.
Yes.
It's definitely happening. Is that Palmer, lad?
Yes, Lewis Palmer.
Right, that's happening. Please don't ruin my run by saying that's not happening either. Right?
Oh God, yeah. Well, there's a plane. There's no issues with the planes right now in the UK or whatever. So is there some sort of issue
that caused a right nightmare, didn't it? Would that really have caused an issue in him signing? You're thinking, I know obviously to get over and do his medical and stuff, but surely he could do his medical out in Greece.
Yeah, they can do that in other countries. We've had signings in the past, and other teams have done it where they have medicals well away from the club, and deals contracts can get signed, in other locations. It can all be done that way. And if all else fails, if he managed to make it to the UK in some capacity, he can just get the train up or the bus. Being appropriate on this, but either way, he would get here. It would get done. I don't think it would affect us too much. I mean, I did see. I think Connor said something in the group chat about that, and it's like we shouldn't be scrambling around the way we are. He said, "Oh, it's just typical that this would affect us," and it's like, well, we shouldn't be at this stage scrambling around the way we are, because if we got these types of deals done a while ago, and it looks like Lewis Palmer had been on our radar for a wee while. It seems like it's a deal that we probably could have got done, but yeah, for whatever reason, it's now we find ourselves with days to go. Another wee small hurdle just been thrown in the way there.
At least he's been playing though, Philly. He's been playing well. I think he's already done some European qualifiers, so and scored. His stats look really good. He looks exciting. I would be delighted to even just see him get chucked in against Rangers if we do get that deal over the line, which we will do, by the way.
Whatever quote it was I saw for somebody who's a high-ranking official, as maybe the manager or one of the board members, says something like he's been involved in every goal that they scored so far this season, whether it's actually scoring it himself or a goal assist. So I was like, well, that's fairly that's and also from the clips that I've seen, one thing that we're lacking in is a set piece specialist, because we don't tend to score off free kicks directly. We're terrible at corners. Absolutely horrendous at corner kicks. I think I saw a comment come up a minute ago saying, why can we not score for corners? And it's like, it feels like an event when Celtic actually score off a corner. You're like, oh God, I can't believe it. A direct header.
Scored the last one. Who was it? Starfelt
on the last day of the season, against Aberdeen. But the one before that, they're very few and far between. They really are. There's we go through long periods where we don't. And it's just a team with some of the players we've got with some of the ability. How can nobody hit a half-decent corner? Or we hit short corners, which we were doing last season under Ange. We're still doing them now under Brendan. And it's like, it's just so hopefully if this guy is coming in, I see he looks like he's got a bit of a speciality when it comes to a dead ball. He can also whip in a good corner. Because, we've got, centre-backs coming up, like Lagerbielke and stuff like that, but they're totally wasting their time if they can't get on the end of it, because we can't get by the first man. Many times I see a corner get taken and it hits the first man. It's like, at the very least, you should be getting it past him. At the very, very least, and you can't even do that. So, yeah, we definitely need that. And I say the free kicks that I've seen from his highlight reel, it's like we could definitely do with that as well, because I can't remember the last time we had one that was a free kick. But in fact, we talked about Sidney Van Hooijdonk, and his dad was a free kick specialist. His dad was lethal outside the area of a free kick. Unbelievable. It was more lethal than a penalty for Pierre Van Hooijdonk. He stepped up and just whipped one into the top corner. Done against, I remember it was against Aberdeen in the first day of the season in '96. Absolute screamer he scored, and he went on to score a whole bunch that season. But yeah, he was deadly there. So if his son does rock up, maybe he'll be good at a free kick as well. His dad's taught him a thing or two, how to strike one of them.
Is Palmer going to get the number 7 shirt, Phil?
Looks like it. I think he was at 17. He wears out there, and 17 is obviously taken here. So I would think so. It's a number that you associate with a winger, a wide forward, a tricky winger, especially a lot of skill. I would associate. It's a number you would associate. So yeah, it could be that magic number 7. In fact, I think I saw a very own judge on Twitter saying something about we should just retire the number 7 jersey because it's cost.
By the way, you know what? He's not. I used to think that too, but I think Giacomakis managed to kind of steer me away for that. Because at one point I did start to go, there's something wrong with this number 7 shirt. It's like it's cursed. Like when Patrick Roberts got it, it's just like become an absolute dud wearing that.
He was terrible. No terrible. He was injured.
He got injured in everything as well. Yeah.
But he was on 7 that season, but he was 27 the other time. So maybe there is a hoodoo because it was like Juninho got it right after Larson left. Had a great debut and then just fell off after that.
Shifty, how do you say his name?
Nadia Shifty. Oh God, that's another Pierre Van Hooijdonk link. He was his agent. Pierre Van Hooijdonk's name keeps coming up. Are we trying to manifest this to happen with Sidney Van Hooijdonk? His name just keeps coming up tonight. So
Cindy,
as you called, yes, indeed.
Yeah, you see, Martin Muir's got it. He kens. Martin kens. Podence to get number 10. Yes, mate.
Number 10.
You're bang on because it's happening.
Yeah, we'll need to get a Xeka out the door first. Kick him out.
Yeah, I can just kick him out. Just
kick him out.
I forgot, like you said, they forgot he was there until I mentioned it on Sunday. Surprised I didn't get more pelters for that, by the way. I got a couple in the comments, but it's all right.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. It's good fun. I really do enjoy reading the comments after the shows as well. It really helps with the traction of the.
It does. So YouTube loves an active channel, so of course always comments after the video as well.
Record views this month, I believe. I'm sure when Bhoycie's next on, he'll give the proper numbers. But I really enjoy having all these new people jumping on the pod. Obviously, appreciate our regulars that have been on since day one. Always see the same names coming in the chat, and it's always good to interact with everybody. Whether they agree, disagree, say you're talking shite, or correcting my spelling or my pronunciations of everything.
40-10, yeah.
40-10.
40-10.
30-10, 40-10. It's just good
it.
fun. And what we'd love to do, but we're going to have to see if we can figure something out, is how we get even more interaction with you guys on the chat. Somehow get you on. I'm sure that we could. That would be good fun. I'm sure we can. I'm going to speak to Bhoycie. We can work into
those type of ideas. All right.
Totally. Because the show just keeps growing. This channel just keeps growing thanks to everybody that's jumping on, and it's just good luck. We weren't going to do a Tuesday ticket show tonight. We were actually going to take a night off, but then me and Phil were just kind of going over the transfer talk privately on WhatsApp, and I was like, "Oh man, there's loads to talk about. Let's just see if we'll jump on." Sure, and right enough, all 241 of you that are on live right now jumped on, and we massively appreciate it. So,
and the plan is for the rest of the week we're going to be on each night. So tomorrow night is a Bustalgia week. So as I said last week, we're going to rotate it with Judgment Day on a Wednesday night. Of course, providing that we're not playing a game, we're going to have midweek games coming up as well after September. So, but yeah, on a week when it's free. So tomorrow night is it's going to be a Bustalgia night, a wee time traveling episode, going back into the archives, and of course to be topical of what's going on right now, we're going to be looking at deadline day Celts. Celts that came in on the actual day itself, or way into the window. So obviously I've got a few lined up. Robbie Keane, Craig Bellamy, Barry Robson. Effie Ambrose was a deadline day signing. There you go. And of course, Jota as well. So that'll be tomorrow night. We'll be looking at that. That'll either depress you when you look at some of the good names, or it might bring up some bad memories, because we're looking at, good, bad, and somewhere in the middle. Thursday night will be TNF as per usual, and that'll be a Champions League reaction one as well, because there's a small matter in amongst all this madness that's going on about transfer window. As the sands of time keep ticking away, there's a Champions League draw on Thursday night. We'll find out our fate for the group stages. So that'll be TNF.
Will that be live? Will that happen when we're on? Is that the same time?
The draw's at like 5:30 UK time, so we're going to just be on at our usual time at 9, and we'll do that, and we can look at our potential, who our opponents are going to be, and have a wee look at their squads and see who the danger men are. Spoiler, probably most of their teams are going to be danger men, to be honest, because there's some meaty opponents we can get, because we are in pot 4. We are going to get a bad one. And Friday night will be deadline night. So that'll be fun. We'll go on that Friday feeling. So we'll be doing that to close out the window. Yellow ties and all. So that'll be fun. We'll as I say, we'll read the room. We'll gauge if it feels like Celtic are going to go late and get something in, then we'll be able to find out from watching Sky Sports News and reading stuff. We'll see. But if it's a case of we can tell it's going to be dead pretty quickly, we'll just play it by ear on that one. But we will be on Friday night regardless anyway for that. And then it's I don't know if Russell maybe throw something in Saturday night. Who knows? But Sunday of course is the big one for a certain fixture. So that'll be Sunday Blether on before that, and then the actual match itself in PMP. So hopefully we come away with a positive result. But I'm trying my best not to think too much about that right now.
Yeah. One step at a time, eh? One step
we've got a Champions League draw and a transfer window to close out first. It's a busy, busy week. So, yeah.
Yes, it's a very busy week, and we shall let you guys get ready to prep for that. So, thanks for joining us. We've done 1 hour and 2 minutes, 42 seconds, if you want to be precise. Still 211 of you. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave.
Yes, indeed.
And make sure you get the comments in after the show as well. Phil, thanks as always, mate.
Yeah, no worries at all, man. No worries.
And we'll look forward to your Bustalgia tomorrow. All right. So, see you then, guys. Take care.
Bye. See you guys. Catch you.
Bye.